กับฟันพบกันทีไรก็เรื่องใหญ่น้ำกับไฟถ้าไกลกันได้ก็ดีมากับแมวมาด้วยกันสู้กันดู
Sawadee-krap, Assalamualaikum, good evening and welcome to LOL with Rizal. Woo! I don't know if you guys realized last week today, I actually didn't do it last week. Sneaky, right? I'm supposed to be doing it every week, but I didn't do it this week. Anyway, I'm glad that I'm back. I'm back and I feel so happy. Even though the past few weeks, past few days have been very, very busy. I've been running courses from this week, just 4 days straight. 4 hari. Ooh. Okay, so even tomorrow I got a session a whole day again. But I cannot. I must be here live. I want to be meeting people and interview people and talk to people. And also, my brain feels no pain. I want to have a lot more information come into my brain and develop myself. Okay, I'm so excited, guys. I'm really excited because today I have a very special guest. Wow. Kalau semua dah tengok dah, if you've seen the poster. So I have this very amazing talent who I had the opportunity to meet before. And I've also worked with him before in one event. And his name is Firdaus Johari. And you see him, don't worry, dia tengah backstage, tengah tak makeup apa semua ya. So today the theme is I'd rather innovate than go on a date. Wah, dengar tu kawan-kawan. Dia rather innovate daripada go on a date. Tapi dia cakap, Rizal, janganlah sabar. Aku nak juga I nak juga cari date kan. Okay, so kalau hari ni ada 2 mission. Satu nak belajar pasal inovasi, lagi satu kalau siapa ada kenalan ataupun ada perempuan single lagi, Firdaus ada situ. Kita bagi chance, kita connect, kita WhatsApp, DM semua, Telegram pun boleh, jangan takut. Okay, so we got 2 missions today. One to learn about innovation, another to find someone for Firdaus. Dia tak tahu ni plan kita. Dia dah terbahak-bahak dengan minuman dia terkeluar. Okay, seperti biasa kita baru je start. We just started, guys. So I'm going to give you some time. Siapa yang baru masuk tu sila say hi and then tell us where you're from and what are you doing now. And welcome. Hey, yeah. Waalaikumsalam, Adrina. Thank you so much for signing in. Today is going to be a very special session. And of course, for those that are coming in and then for those that are, watching the replay, just letting you know that come March is actually the International Women's Day month. And so I'm going to run a special LOL with Rizal for the month of March. It will only just be ladies, okay? I'm bringing in the ladies. We're going to be talking to a lot of amazing ladies, amazing women who, will be able to contribute in a lot of topics, interesting topics, and Adrina will be one of them. So thanks, Arina, for accepting. And we got here Mr. Hijazi. Oh, and Hijazi. So welcome on board. Thank you so much for joining in. Really appreciate it. Wow, what's happening today? So we got Hijazi here, and we also have a Mastura. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa じゃなくて、こんばんはですね。もう8時ですから。Okay, thank you so much. And wow, thanks. Hey, Z. Rapunzel all the way from Manila. Thank you so much for joining in. Today is going to be an interesting topic. So it's going to be fun. We've got a whole bunch of people joining in. So it's interesting. All right. So very interesting. Why is Hijazi and also Masura, why are you guys talking in Japanese? I'm very curious. Now I'm going to be looking it up. All right. So we also got Adrina say thank you for inviting. Looking forward. Man, a few people coming in too. Yeah, all the way from Penang, if I'm not mistaken. Alicia, welcome on board. Thank you so much for being here with us. All right. So without further ado, I think all of you guys are ready to bring in our special guest for today. So remember, so this guy, he'd rather innovate than go on a date. Of course, it's the catchy title. It's a catchy title. I want to make sure that you guys come and sign in and join us, right? But yes, he is really, really the Mr. Innovator that I know. And when he speaks about innovation, wow, he's really excited about it. Really excited about it. He goes really deep and then he can talk about it, for hours and hours. So it's his passion. So without further ado, let's bring on our guest for today. Round of applause. Yay!
Hey! Hello guys! Hello everyone.
Hey.
Good evening. So we're talking about innovate, right? I want to innovate the title a bit lah. If you innovate, you can also innovate and get a date.
Wah.
Also want to change.
Boleh ke? Betul ke?
Dia
Betul
boleh.
juga lah. I think you need to be very innovative in terms of how to get a date lah. I think that's one way lah, right? One
Correct.
way lah.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
man.
thank you for
Hey,
inviting ni, man.
no worries, no worries. It is my pleasure to be able to have really amazing guests on the show. So I'm so happy that you are able to join in with us. So, of course, let's have a look. I'd rather innovate than go on a date. And there's a few people here that has already joined us, and some of them says here, oh, we got a few amazing people on board. So let me just set this up right. So we got Alicia there saying that, oh, hello, welcome. Hee nice,
Hi,
nice, nice.
Alicia.
And we got Dr. Nurul as well. Wow,
Yes.
Dr. Nurul lah.
Thank you for joining
Hebat lah.
us.
Ya, dia ada warung usahawan. Okay. Bila lagi warung inovasi.
Betul.
Warung
Buka warung
usahawan ya.
sebelah.
Wah, cantik topi. Topi je Mercedes bawa Myvi. Hey, what do you mean? How come people want the cap? Hey, man. Okay. Wow. Respect. HRB, the Dragonfire, the career doctor. Thanks so much for joining in, honey. Thank you. This is amazing support for me. I really like it because it's good support for my fellow friend here, Firdaus. And I mean, we've been talking. And when I met him last time, I know that he does innovation until the point when he starts talking about he was giving advice on innovation. I was like, wow, this guy got something already lah. So tak boleh lah. I want to correct his mind lah. So correct his mind, and of course now I want him to do something for me, which is let's do an introduction. Cerita lah sikit, jangan malu-malu.
Correct. So thank you for inviting. My name is Firdaus, and I am an innovation and creativity thinking trainer. So most of you guys would think, what's the difference between innovation and creativity? It's the same. So maybe today I'll share a bit about what is actually the difference. And that's what I do for a living. I really love talking about innovation because I myself an innovator. I was used to be in the startup world. Those people who want to make the next big app, the next big Facebook and Uber and Grab and all that. So I used to be in that world, and I really want to be those kind of millionaires and whatnot. But it didn't really happen like planned. But at least from those experience, I can share my mistakes, and hopefully you guys won't do the same mistakes that I did. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Oh, all right. I love your keyword just now, right? The apps, the new apps, the next Uber, the next Grab, all these new techs and ideas and so on. It all comes from innovation lah. Tapi kan you tadi cerita kenapa innovation ni? I pernah belajar kreatif dulu kat Kemahiran Hidup. Kan Kemahiran Hidup they ask us to think creative and how to do. But what made you be interested in innovation? Kenapa?
Okay, so I think it goes back to my life journey lah, in a way. Okay, so I studied business administration. I was majoring in marketing. My first real job is actually I was working for this telco company, and I was responsible to design a marketing strategy to sell these internet service products to university students. And then one of the idea I had was like a youth loyalty card, loyalty cards for young people, university students. And that proposal the boss tak suka, so tak dapat. But then I really like that idea. Then at a certain point, I did quit my job, and I started my own company. I joined a business reality TV show called Make the Pitch and TV7, and I made it to semi-finals with that idea. And I lost to the husband of Vivi Yusof of Fashion Valley and Dark Scarf.
Really?
So I lost to the husband. So the husband was representing the company lah, which is the Vivi Yusof was famous for lah, the husband and wife, right? So then I realized through my for the coming years and whatnot, I always go towards the same thing, which is basically I like to experiment, I like to innovate, I like to try something new. Even in training, right? Even though there is a established SOP or activity that I just need to follow, I always want to tweak it a little bit. It's just something I cannot help. So I think that's why it always go back to innovation, creativity. It's just something that I feel that it's inherent in me.
Wow, that's nice. Oh, that's very cool. I like that you say that some creative and innovative is almost the same. Is it really the same?
It's actually different. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay, because I think this is an argument that always happens. Okay, so I ask a question. I'll ask a question. When you think of somebody who makes a chair or maybe carves a stone or something like that, is that creating something? Right? You're
Kan,
creating
boleh tak?
something, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
creating something from nothing, right? And what's the root word of creativity?
What's the root word creativity? Create lah.
Create, right?
Huh.
But these people who make chairs and go into the workshop, do we think them as creative? Or you compare to somebody who draws a picture or writes a song or write a novel. Those are people, we confirm they are creative, right? But how come we don't accept people who create things, with their hands are not creative? Why is that?
Oh.
Weird,
Okay,
right?
betul juga.
So my point is, creativity is actually anyone that creates. So it doesn't need to be new. It doesn't need to be so revolutionizing and everything. It just needs to something to create from nothing,
Okay.
right?
All right.
Make sense? So in a
Makes sense.
way, the difference between the difference between creativity and innovation to me is basically innovation is about executing the idea, and creativity is coming up with an idea. So even somebody who
Oh.
is, you know,
Okay.
that's what I feel like.
Nice. Hey, I want to give a shout out for you, Firdaus. There are a few supporters of you. We got Sufis. Sufis, my man. What's up?
Yeah.
And
Thank
then
you guys.
this guy also is creative and innovative as well. Combined together, dia power lah, Sufis.
Correct.
All right. Then we got Nikki as well, signing in from Iconic Co-working Space. Dia branding juga checking in. Dia kena beritahu Sharon punya Iconic Co-working Space. So creative from a branding side. Okay.
True.
And then we got Dr. Eric. Dia pisang goreng and leko tak ada. Okay, this is an inside joke because we went and did a visit to Dr. Wan Afzal Remedy in Taman Tun, which is also below Johan Ui's class. Depan tu ada best punya pisang goreng dengan keropok leko and nasi kerabu, nasi dagang. So that's creativity at its best. All right, cool, man. Cool. Thank you so much for breaking it down for us. Now, I got a big question I want to ask you, right? Hey, is innovating, is it like renovating? Lebih kurang. Dia macam kata pakai tangan kan, renovate juga.
Correct. Okay. So I think the first thing that we need to understand that I usually share in my training is that is innovation needs something like totally new from zero. Can it be something that you need to change a bit? And the thing is, one of my innovation speakers or sifu that I really look up to, Frederick Harris, he says that all ideas are essentially a combination of two ideas or at least two ideas. So if you look like a smartphone, right? A smartphone is a PC connected with a telephone. You put it together, that is a smartphone, right? So that kind of thing. Everything. There's always a combination of at least two ideas becoming one. So that is the kind of thing. So when you talk about renovating, right? You don't need to build a new house straight away.
Okay.
Look at your objective. So if you want a home, you want your dream home, you instead of building from zero, you can always find an existing house that somehow have the foundation of what you want, and then you do the renovation bit by bit. So this is what is called as incremental innovation. So building something like from zero, it can be a radical innovation, but renovating a bit by bit, that is incremental innovation. And here's the thing, incremental innovation are the innovations that we do every day in our life, in our job, but they're not appreciated. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think I agree that too, because sometimes in our day-to-day life, right, benda-benda kecil-kecil tu kan, that's considered as innovation as well.
And a lot of people argue what's the definition of innovation and all that. So this is my definition, very simple. Innovation is simply profitable problem solving.
Profitable problem solving. So we do something
solving.
and get money as well.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, so consider this. Everybody has a problem, correct?
Mm.
As a business, we want to solve people's problem, right?
Yep.
Okay. But if we solve the problem without them profiting, us profiting, they will not take our service, correct? Hence why we be profitable, right?
Oh,
So that is
bagus ah, bagus ah. Memang, so kalau I nak innovate, memang money element has to be there lah. The money element. Either you make money or you save money, right?
Correct. Okay, let's say
Oh.
some people will argue, okay, but I'm not a company, I'm an NGO. Does that mean NGOs cannot innovate? Okay, then I'll make a change a bit. Disclaimer. In this context, innovation is simply cost-effective problem solving. Make sense? Cost instead of profit, cost-effective problem solving. Because even if you are a not-for-profit organization, you still have to deal with money, right? So
Yalah,
cost-effective problem solving, right? Make sense, right?
cost-effective problem solving.
Right. Correct,
Okay,
correct, correct. So,
nice. I
makes
love
sense.
that point lah. You mentioned that because right today I posted something about kita masa kita kerja dulu, kalau ada boss, ataupun dulu masa saya jadi boss, when I was a boss, somebody always have a new idea. Rizal, I got this new idea. I found something that's very nice. It's very innovative. It's very cutting edge and so on. I think we should do it for the firm. Always come to me. Best ni. Tapi I selalu tolak. I always push it back because they look it on face value je. Tengok sekali one time and they already want to
Correct,
change the world. Yes, I
correct,
know that it can make money, but there's not enough due diligence, research, thinking
correct,
about it,
correct,
how it
correct,
impacts
correct,
all the risk apa semua. So in my post
correct.
today, quite a lot of feedback. I tak sempat nak jawab lagi sebab baru habis
Betul
tengok
lah.
terus masuk sini kan.
Correct. So
Nice.
that brings another point, that another difference between innovation and creativity is innovation requires creative thinking and critical thinking.
Huh?
Ah,
Innovation requires creative
creative
thinking
thinking
and critical
and
thinking.
critical thinking. So that's another difference, because they
Ah,
think innovation and creative thinking is the same thing. But
ah,
innovation as a whole, as you mentioned earlier, when
mm,
your underlings gave you idea, but your
mm,
underlings did not do the critical thinking part. Did they think about
mm,
feasibility, the cost control, the effective tak kan? So that's
tak.
why the outcome of the innovative ideas too didn't happen, because the critical thinking part is so here's the thing. Some people are too focused on the creative side, some people focus too much on the critical thinking side. Hence, no innovation. But you need both.
Oh, okay.
Then you get innovation punya outcome.
Nanti I kena tanya you strategi innovative thinking lah. Sebab I rasa my bini critical thinker. Dia critical sangat.
Correct. Betul. So in
Dalam
everything
chatting
you
dia
need
critical.
balance, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then I want to pose you this next question. It's a very big one. It always comes to my mind lah. How come some people innovate better than others? How come someone that they constantly think of new ideas? Macam Elon Musk, right? He keeps on coming with new things like wow, boom, and same as Steve Jobs as well. I mean, Bill Gates, I would consider him innovative in some ways. All those guys, all those creators, right? So how come some people innovate better than others? Is there any reason? Because I want to innovate too.
Okay. So there's a few factors. One is the factors of your brain, your cognitive style of thinking, which is the topic of my masters. Actually, I'm doing my masters, and there's also an emotional aspect to it. Okay, there's also a personality factor of it. Okay, so let's start with personality, right? From personality perspective, they are so you're familiar with the big five personality factor, right? Okay, big five, which is the
Let's assume
openness.
that people
No,
don't know. Good.
people don't know. So big five basically is the ocean thing lah, which is openness to experience,
Okay.
conscientiousness, which is something to do with like kerajinan, hardworking,
Okay.
diligence, those kind of things lah. Or everything into one word, conscientiousness. E is extrovert, A is agreeableness, and is neuroticism. Neurotic lah
Huh?
from me, meaning somebody who is much more easily influenced by the emotion.
Oh.
But in terms of innovativeness, the highest correlation between all these personality factors is openness to experience. Because here is the logic. When you are open to new ideas, open to experimenting, open to doing new things, you tend to get more information. And then when you get more information, you have more idea capital. When idea capital,
Mm.
you have more capital to mix and match stuff and suddenly come up a new variation, a new combination of a problem solving. You see, so that is also a personality. Now let's talk
Wow.
about the emotion, the emotional aspect. Okay,
Okay.
some people, they want to prove something to themselves, right? So
Mm.
that pushes them. People like the have a desire to like to experiment stuff, you know,
Mm.
things like that. So that is how. So I learned something about emotional drivers, you know, where it says that everybody have 8 things that makes them motivated or demotivated doing something. So there's a lot of 8 factors. Everybody have 8,
Okay.
but the top 3 will determine how strong the impact of this motivation and demotivation lah. And for me
Okay.
personally, I have a high level of diversity, meaning diversity really motivates me. If no diversity, it will demotivate me. And I give you an example. If you give me a job where my job is to sit in the same room and do the same job, type the same thing, 3 months I will quit my job. But the reason why I am a trainer is because I like to meet a lot of people. I like different cultures, different company cultures, different learnings and everything. I learn different books because I'm a trainer. So it gives me a lot of diversity. That is also why I like to travel and eat different kind of foods because it satisfies my diversity. So in that sense, uh, that's also what I said earlier. When I do trainings, I like to make experiments and tweak and not tweak the trainings. So I want to see how things will come up with.
Mm.
So I mean, so that's another aspect that pushes somebody to be a little bit more innovative than other people. And when we're talking about innovation, there's a book called Innovators DNA. Okay, so it
Angkut
tells.
DNA.
So maybe I'll share this a bit later. But what it says that among all the innovators that they see in terms of in top performing, very innovative organizations in the United States, they see that there are 4 ways that these top executive innovate.
Mm.
They observe, they question, they network, and then they experiment. So if you know which one you are, you just focus on that. Okay. And the last most important factor, in my opinion, this is what I usually use, is something called colored brain. Okay. And
Oh.
colored brain tells that everyone have their own way of thinking, but it tends to fall under one of these 4 types. So I'm sure you are familiar when people say, "Oh, this guy is an ideas guy. This guy is a people person. This
Oh.
guy is a numbers guy," and so on,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So color brain somehow explains a little bit about that. And I am an ideas guy. Ideas. When you give me when you ask me a question like just now, right? Whatever
Mm.
question you throw to me, somehow idea pop, idea will happen. But not everybody have that thinking style. Some people, like for
Oh.
example, the numbers guy. So imagine, we both have a boss, right? And the boss give a challenge. Think of a marketing strategy. So then I will come up with ideas, or this social media and whatnot. Then not all of them will be good. Some of them will be bad. Some will be good, but there will be a lot of quantity. But if somebody is, for example, maybe the numbers guy, usually they will ask first, what's the objective? And what is the current numbers that is involved? Meaning, what's the objective? What's the current performance? What the previous performance? What's the budget? Why? Because they are numbers guy. Very important. So everyone have
Mm.
their own style, and although they are numbers, that doesn't mean they cannot innovate. They just have a different process to come up with a solution. Because imagine that numbers guy, the numbers can tend to be very logical, right, and whatnot. Then he will do some research, Okay, this is the best strategy, the most cost-effective strategy to execute. Here's the cost, here's the projected income and performance. Job, let's do it. Would the boss be happy? Maybe, yes. It's still one way of proposing an idea. So I don't know. So everyone
Interesting.
has so many factors, but the brain is the thing is most important. Oh, Adila,
Itulah.
she said that she's
Yeah.
a green brain. Yeah,
She's
the
a green
ideas guy.
brain. She also says the company I worked with used to be a
Mm.
first in its field in Malaysia. We were the first floating terminal in Malaysia owned by a Malaysian. This business was available in Singapore but not in Malaysia. That was 2004. Yeah, we had so many challenges that one cannot refer to.
Oh, apa maksudnya? Very deep.
Sudah. Memang
Deep.
floating. Tak boleh refer. Very deep. Okay. A question by Sharon. She says, does that mean one
Ah.
needs to be an extrovert to be an innovator?
Okay. So I
Hmm.
mentioned about the big five personality test earlier, right? So there is a small correlation between extrovertedness and innovativeness. However, I would argue that is because when you are more extrovert, you tend to meet more people, you're comfortable with meeting more people, and then you communicate more, and then you get more ideas, and then you can mix and match ideas, etc., etc. So
Hmm.
it is more like a side outcome, how can you say it? But it's not a
Hmm.
direct kind of thing.
Sarin.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's my opinion. So in other words, you don't need to be an extrovert, and an introvert also can innovate. Just like I mentioned about the brain, different kinds of thinking. If that introverted person knows his own way of innovating, his own thinking style, I believe that person can also innovate successfully.
Hmm. Wow, that's good. That's good. I mean, the truth is, and there's a lot of people that can innovate. It's very straightforward.
Yes,
Like
correct.
even someone who sells char kway teow also can innovate, and we
Yeah.
don't have to suddenly change, your menu and so on. It's the little things that you do, right? Contohnya, I remember I saw this one thing, this one guy at a kway teow restaurant. So their innovation was very unique. The way the guy place his fan at the top and then the fire underneath. Now I'm talking about CA already. But there's a quali and then the fire was so hot. Then I asked him, why is it so hot? Oh, the way that I do this, I can cook my char kway teow 2 times as fast as what I normally do. So my output is higher. And I'm
Uh-huh.
talking to a guy
Okay.
that sells char kway teow. This guy is a bit young. So he even speaks
Okay.
in English. Usually some char kway teow is some uncle. I don't
Uh-huh.
know, blah, blah,
Uh-huh.
blah. And the fire come out like, and then it was really intense. I was really like
Correct.
all out of
So,
shock. So
did he solve a problem? Is
yes,
that
he did.
problem solving profitable for him?
Yes, yes.
There you go.
Innovation,
As
right?
long, yeah, as long you have that mindset, you don't need to argue the definition and all that. No, no. In my trains, I will say there's so many definition and perspective, but at the end of the day, did you solve your problem or not, and solve it profitably or
Ah,
not? You know,
okay lah. So
that's what.
innovation is the key litmus test is that you came up with a new idea, you made it, and then there is some form of money making, money saving,
Yeah,
or monetary impact. Then
yeah,
that's innovation lah. Okay,
yeah. For me,
okay.
that's innovation.
All right. I mean, guys out there who is with us in the show, do you have any experience in innovating? Have you ever done something at work that you feel that wow, this is really cool? It is innovation. Now that you know that the outcome it has to be
Yeah,
monetary driven, not money driven, an impact to monetary. All right.
yeah.
So
That's
do
it.
share with us. Yeah? And while we're sharing that, right, I wanted to ask our Mr. Innovator ataupun his hashtag is Innovasilah. Hashtag
Correct.
Innovasilah. It's actually I made a mistake once. Innovasilah is INOVASILAH, right? Innovasilah. Okay.
Mm.
So for people like me, idiots like me, right, or people who don't really know much about innovation, we want to know a
Mhm.
simple formula lah. Huh? What's the easiest way for me to innovate? Start innovating, start making new things, start creating,
Okay.
and then executing new ideas. Let's go.
Okay, I think the best formula that I can share right now is the design thinking formula lah. Is quite a very popular method, and I think it's very good. Okay, so I'll just share lightly in summary of what it is. So design thinking said there's 5 steps to innovate. It is empathize, define, ideate, and then what say, prototype and then test. Correct. Okay. So now the first step is empathize, which a lot of people always skip. Have Have you ever heard somebody who comes to you, hey, Rizal, I got this super awesome idea, can confirm get 1 million, 1 billion ringgit, just awesome idea and very ni. And then when you ask certain questions, and then the person like, oh my, okay, okay, that's a good question. Or you ask a question like, have you tested it to somebody or not? Okay, no, because why? They did not take the step to empathize with who they are creating the idea for. So
Mm.
that's the first step, empathize, right? So this goes back to my first startup idea. Remember I said about I created a loyalty card kind of thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So so I created this loyalty card. I had a amazing idea. Wow, students, I was a student previously, right? I want to get discounts and da 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 and all that. And I'm gonna connect them with business owners and it's gonna be amazing. So I went into the market. I spent a lot of money and time to create this product. Then I went into the market, and here's what I found out: the businesses that I'm trying to sell the system to, their problem is not customer loyalty. Hence, my loyalty card is useless. Their
Okay.
number one problem is actually cost control. Again, cost
Ah.
control. So what happened was not only my product wasn't being bought, my sales cycle was so long. So it took a long time for me to realize that the client did not want my product. I practically had to change them and beg them, please, can we meet up and then we do this? Because it's not their number one problem. Why did I make the mistake? Because the first step I did not empathize or try to understand the perspective of my paying customer. So I waste money there. So that's usually the biggest mistake that people do. And the next step is, of course, you have to define your problem. You have to ideate. The brainstorming part comes in. That's the creative part comes in, and then you have to prototype and test, which is also another thing that I see a lot of entrepreneurs or new startup owners. They always straight away want to create the best app, the nice buttons with very beautiful graphics and then all the features and everything, but they haven't tested the core value of the product, the core benefit. They didn't test, and then they wasted like 100,000 ringgit. So no matter how many times I say this or share this, there will be always be somebody who will do this mistake, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's very true. So in short, if let's say for we have business owners over here, we have people from different backgrounds, right? People who are either working for an organization or actually running their business. So you're saying that using empathy as one part to understand, different pain points that you
Yes,
have in your business,
correct, correct.
be it your clients or even internal processes. Those are the things that you want to be
Exactly,
focusing on first, right?
exactly. Okay, let's go back to our definition. Innovation
Okay.
is simply profitable problem solving. Who has problem? Who? Do
Okay.
animals have problem? Do
Animals.
machines have problem? Do trees have problem? Or most of the time, or all the time, people have the problem, right?
Mm.
All all problems are faced by people, by living people, right? So in a way, it goes back to that. You always need to. Hence, why you need to empathize with people because they are the people who you are solving for, innovating for. People. Our
Mm.
customers are people. Our clients are people. Our stakeholders, our governments, our logistics people, our suppliers, all people.
Hmm.
So people.
Okay. All right. That's cool. So if okay, nak check lagi lah. I want to go lagi mendalam, right? So for anyone that is doing a business, right? How do I know then where should I innovate first? If the clients are the people are our clients, but the people are also those within our organization, right? And I know that I need to improve, certain things in my organization to make it better. So either
Mhm.
way, if I make improvement to clients, it's good. If I make improvement internally, it's also good. So as an innovator, how do I know where to focus on first?
Okay. So if you are a business owner, some tools that I can use is the business model canvas or the lean model canvas, which is very
Oh,
similar. Okay, which are
okay.
different things. So basically, business model canvas is created by a guy called Alexander Oftenstade. I always mispronounce his name. Sorry lah.
Like
But you can
sikit
read
lah.
lagi sikit lah. But you can buy the book at KLCC, Business Model Generation, and it says that all business have these nine main components, and if your business does not have these nine components, then it's not a very strong business and it might fail. Okay, so what you
Nine
want to do
components.
is what you want to do is to take that business component. It's actually these nine components. They fitted on this piece of paper, just a one sheet, and then on there you can just scribble. It's more like a brainstorming tool to identify where you can innovate, and where you are in comparison to your competitor. So maybe you can compare to what your competitor does and then write down some ideas and whatnot and see where is you are weakest, or where some corporates are missing in the first place. Like for example, a lot of businesses, they don't have channels. They don't have sales channels. They don't have marketing channels. They don't have logistic channels. And then they do everything by themselves. And then they ask, hey, how come there's no sales? How come not? Yeah, because you're doing yourself. You have a limited time and resources and effort. So
Mm.
that's why you cannot think strategically. Everything you do yourself. So that is one way you can use lah. So that is if you are a business owner.
All right. So we got some questions here. Sharon asked you, how does one stay motivated and not give up when one hits the wall innovating like how you did with your first loyalty card?
Okay. Uh, Let me share to you what happened after the loyalty card. I was bummed out. Yes. Okay. Wasted like 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 year of my life. But I realized something. From that failure, I gained an insight. I understood what was my target market's strongest problem. And at that time, I focused on the restaurant owner market. Okay. And one of them was actually my high school senior and my university senior, who was also
Mm.
an accountant, who also had a restaurant. Okay. And he told me, Firdaus, he told me basically he was one of the first people who told me that the number one issue is cost control. And after 1 year, he told me this. Why don't we solve that problem? Okay. So he told me this. Now, cost control, if you want to control your cost and everything, you all these business failures, restaurant failures happen because cost control, because of wastages, theft, and fraud. You waste by not using something. You overbuy your foods and stuff because they get bad, right? Sometimes things are stolen, or fraud, meaning maybe the staff took money and do some different calculation, like for example they under report the sales and things like that. So how do you, so it's a very big problem. That's why they say what 80% of businesses fail into it and all that. So again, goes back to profitable problem solving. So I was saying, if the restaurant want to prevent this problem, they had to hire like an accountant, pay 3,000 ringgit per month, around that. But what if an app can do all that, and we can charge about 300 or 600 ringgit per month? So a clear proposition there, right? So then it gave me motivation, because why? Because I know there is a problem that I can solve, and I was in a situation where I can solve that problem. Why? Because I already had spent 1 year talking to restaurant owners, right? I have the database, right? So in other
Oh,
words, so 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 again, to answer your question is, look back at, in a way, your failures and how you can turn it to an advantage. And it goes, and how to turn it, you have to have the mindset that I mentioned earlier, that innovation is simply profitable problem solving. Do you think
mm.
you can solve that problem? Do you think you are in a special situation you can solve that problem? Then do it. Okay, cool.
Wow. Reflection. Powerful, man. Powerful. Good story. And it is very true, right? In
Mm.
fact, we learn a lot more from our experiences, especially the bad ones. And then through reflection, understanding, there are things that you have done in there that you learn the hard way, but all those mistakes won't be repeated. That's
Correct,
the,
correct,
the
correct.
the common rule of thumb lah. So at the very
Right.
least, we know that that stage is gone, and now is whatever they're going to do. We've learned from the past. We're not going to use that same approach.
The keyword is reflection. I think a lot of people miss that, because a lot of people, when they do mistakes or when they fail in the business or whatnot, they rarely do postmortem, they rarely do reflection, and they don't learn from their failure. And I think that's the only difference between an innovator and a non-innovator, is a willingness to accept mistakes and learn from those mistakes, to
Yeah,
reflect. You
yeah.
know.
I think a lot
So
of
I
great
mean,
innovators are like that, right? Very
yeah, correct. I
persistent.
mean, yeah, Thomas Edison 10,000 times with the light bulb. Is it? Is that correct? If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
right?
1,000
Yeah.
light bulbs or something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. And of course, when you talk about reflection, I see a lot of people when they are having trouble, when they want to start a business or something, they look at what's the most profitable. Like I said, but here's the thing. Although I said profitable problem solving, I didn't say profitable. It must be. a problem solve, you are helping a keyword helping someone to solve a problem with a profit. So what do they do instead? They choose things, businesses or skills that it's in theory is a lot of money, but it doesn't fit them because
Hmm.
they're not leveraging on their past experience, past skills, past reflections to leverage on their advantage. So when they start something new, it start from zero. So waste of time.
Betul, 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 betul. All right. Thank you so much. They start from zero, and there is it's 300 steps behind, but still we need to build the momentum forward, and that learning. Sometimes I feel that learning through experience is worth a lot more than learning at university. Maybe I'm
True. Okay.
pushing that a bit. Yeah.
Yes. No. I think that's correct. That's so correct. And okay, let me share with you. This is something that I really believe in.
Hmm.
In in school and in life, exams wants you to give the right answers. But in life, you need to ask the right questions. Again,
Oh.
asking the right questions.
Power.
And we're not, and as innovators, that is actually our real job. Okay. So
Hmm.
mostly people will say, should I work at company A or company B? The right question is, are you in the right industry or not? Instead of asking company A or company B. Company A,
Hmm.
company B might be the wrong industry for you. Might be you can be much more successful in another industry. Again, asking the right questions. So that is not
Interesting.
something I thought, you know.
Susahnya nak jawab soalan tu.
And so asking the right question. In fact, Einstein said if he has 1 hour to think of how to save the world or something, he would spend 59 minutes to think about the problem so he can ask the right questions and then 1 minute to solve it. That's a popular quote on the internet lah. But I believe
Wah,
it's him lah.
betul eh? So means you
Correct.
have 1 hour to do it is you ask a lot of questions and you have 1 minute to solve it.
Mm, correct.
I think that's very true because in coaching we learn that, which is being able to
Yeah.
uncover,
Yeah.
deconstruct, debunk,
I'm a believer of coaching.
yeah. So just go in and crawl, and you just you just scratch through that thick wall and uncover the real truth. What is the underlying truth? Ada udang besar di sebalik batu by asking the right question. Okay, so we got Lina here say yes, we get caught up with other things like building nice features, which is not as important as testing the model itself.
Correct.
So
Correct. Correct.
betul juga lah. I mean, I
Correct.
get that a lot. In our trainings that we're dealing with the marketing group, the marketing guys, right? All those guys, ideas are abundant, right? They got so
The
many things,
ideas guy.
crazy. The ideas guy,
Correct.
right? But then from an
Correct.
implementation perspective, the core elements which you mentioned now, which in my head is going to stick forever, which is innovation has to lead to monetary impact. The finance guy is critical. The numbers guy, the engineers, and also on those guys really play a part. Yeah. Okay. That's it. Nice. All right. So we are closing in towards our last question, which is going to be an interesting one. I've always wondered this one here. We know so much about people who are great innovators and creators around the world. Wonder what's on this side of the earth or this part of the world. So, any companies or individuals in Malaysia who you think are master innovators, someone that we should know? Ada?
I think let me Tuan Haji Hashim, Muhammad Ali Hashim from
Al-
Jacob. Do you know him?
Muhammad Ali Hashim.
Tan Sri Ali Hashim. Tan Sri
Okay.
Muhammad Ali Hashim, mendiang Tan Sri Muhammad Ali Hashim, ex-CEO of Jacob, which used to own KFC and Pizza Hut,
Okay.
who proposed the idea of wakaf corporate.
Okay.
Okay. So that's I think the number one guy that I like because okay, for those who don't know, wakaf is an Islamic concept where is like how to say an entity, almost like corporate entity that is used to financially help welfare. So for example, I believe that there is Jacob started the idea of this wakaf hospital where yes, people go to the hospital and pay like normal, but the entity itself uses a portion of the profits to do charities to give back to the society. Okay, so
Hmm.
so that is a form of wakaf corporate where that entity is a business, whereas the normal concept of wakaf that you always hear is where I have a plot of land, I give it to the society can build a mosque or something like that. Okay, and then
Ah,
that kind of, so that is like the normal concept. But this guy is saying, hey, why don't we do the same thing for businesses, where we create a business that create profit, but they give back to the society as part of the legal rules of the business. I'm not good at explaining it, but he's one of the person who is innovative now to do that. And I think just from his experience as a corporate leader, leading Jacob, KFC, and all that, I think it's already by itself an innovator in my experience. So I think
wow.
there's this book that he writes. I forgot his book. Never mind. Maybe if I remember, I can tell you guys later. Of course, there's some other innovators here. Do you know Sheikh Ahmad Fukaha of Katsana?
No.
So here's the thing. We have an abundance of innovators in Malaysia. They are doing good. They are doing well. Katsana is a company that does GPS systems for cars initially.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
if you lose your car, you can use their system to know where they are. Then they expanded into logistic vehicles, transportation, and I think a few years ago they are doing for ships. But now I don't know they are how big. I think they are like almost regional, and I mean they are already regional. I don't know. I think they're doing so well. And then yeah, so many. I mean, there's so many people that in Malaysia from the startup days where I was doing the loyalty card with them, and they have their own ideas. And now they're doing well, and yeah, it's just that they are not being being highlighted. I guess maybe not enough.
Wow.
So I mean, if you're in
Okay.
LinkedIn, you know lah. I don't know. I think there's a lot of people. Okay, another guy. The one forgot his name already. The one you're working with, Duryu.
Oh, Sinan.
Duryu. Sinan, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, he's quite cool. I met him before. It was a few years
Oh,
ago.
man, the guy is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing because he's a fast thinker, very holistic, and he's
Yeah.
always 4 or 5 steps ahead.
Yes.
And
Yes.
very open. So, like you said, very open. He's open for
Right.
feedback. Anything that you want to say, whether good or bad, he's quite up there. And he definitely a numbers person too. There is some element of numbers, even though he doesn't showcase it, but there are things running in there. Yes, that's very
Yeah.
true.
Sure. Yeah. Open to
Okay.
feedback. Open to feedback is another way you can to get ideas actually. Yeah, I must admit I'm guilty of that, where a lot of my ideas is actually come from other people feedback. I don't need even to think actually, you know. And the only reason why it's hard for people to innovate through feedback is because they have ego. That's all. That's the only reason,
Mm,
ego.
okay. Okay. So there are a few more great innovators. What about companies? Companies that are very innovative.
um can I say Grab?
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah,
They're
I
very
mean,
fast.
they started in Malaysia. In fact, when I proposed the loyalty card thing during a PCOM investing session or pitching session, they were pitching My Taxi. At that time, it was called My Taxi,
Yep. Yep.
and they had a good pitch. I think they deserve to be where they are right now. And again, they are a very, how do I say this, open, not open. I think they are very packer. I say packer. I mean, very open to
Oh,
adapt.
okay.
They're open to changes. They are very open to change lah. I don't know what's the word packer. What's packer? Okay.
Sensitive.
Suddenly, yeah, sensitive. Okay, suddenly my brain. Okay,
No.
sensitive to changes in the market, into behaviors, and then they just try to adopt it. And I think it's awesome. So I think that's a good example for us to follow. And I think they follow the people also. They also in a way customer centric. What then? How can they help the users? What are the users already doing right now?
Oh.
First it was all about riding, transportation. Again, oh, why don't we help them with food or whatever? And then slowly it became to what it is. So
Mm. Okay. Yeah. So Grab is one of it. So we've spoken about that. I mean companies. Oh, macam-macam bunyi. There's innovator punya system ke?
no, I think it's somebody making a call. Somebody forgot that I made.
Okay, so for yourself, right? Anyone in Malaysia that made it big globally in terms of innovation? Do you know anyone?
In Malaysia,
Yeah, someone
from
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 Malaysia that
Malaysia. lobby that making this. Okay, that's I forgot this company. It's Malaysian. It's we don't know them because they are they sell product that have programmers actually. So, but I forgot
Okay.
even because I'm not a programmer, so I forgot them. So they're doing quite well, but I forgot. Uh,
Mm.
what is PictoChart is another company. Maybe they are
Oh,
doing
people chat.
okay. They're doing globally. Maybe PictoChart. I think PictoChart started in Penang. I think they're still in Penang. Of
Wow.
course. Yeah. I mean, rather than look at rather than comparing like who is bigger and all that, why don't we just celebrate people who are able to help people, solve
Mm.
problems. If they can solve a lot of problem around the world, then we should celebrate it.
Mm. I got a question. So, okay, we got few people who said hi. Faisal
Okay.
Suhaimi. Faisal is here. I know you did a session with him, I think last week,
Yeah.
or was it recently, right?
Yeah.
And
Recently.
then we got the lawyer here. Oh, dengar lawyer dah. Dia dengar kau buat innovation. Dia terus nak trademark kau punya innovation lah. We have to go through him. And then here, Faisal Suhaimi say people only see Apple or Jobs as innovators. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just think Steve Jobs, maybe innovation a long time ago, but he's damn hardworking. That's the only thing I can say.
Yes. Yes.
Damn
Yes.
hardworking, right? Mr. DIY.
Mr. DIY is okay. Again, if we say profitable problem solving, right? How Mr. DIY grew, they had their outlets, and then they rebranded themselves, and then they have the apps and all, everything to really help their customers to make it easier for them to buy, things
Mm.
like that. So I guess that's an innovation in a way, and they're already like beyond Malaysia already. They have a few outlets in Spain, if I'm not mistaken, in some other places.
Okay, so Sharon here mentioned a USB drive was invented by Malaysian, surgical
Yeah,
mask invented in Malaysia. So I nak tanya
true,
semua
true,
orang, what are
true.
famous inventions from Malaysia? What are, oh yeah, saya typo. What are famous inventions in Malaysia? Does anyone know?
Okay,
Okay,
USB
let
drive.
them share lah. Let them share. I want to ask you one thing though, Firdaus.
Mhm.
Is there like, I mean, somebody who wants to be a speaker, there's a speakers association, trainer
Mhm.
association, coach. Is there any innovative innovation association?
Actually, there is. I think there's a few. Of course, there's even by the government. There's like Yayasan Inovasi Malaysia, Agency Inovasi Malaysia. There's also certain persatuans, organizations. I forgot they're like innovators and inventors. So there's different. There's inventors. There's innovators. There's so many different organizations which I am not a part of yet. Correct.
Mm. Oh, you're not part of yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Alamak, cepatlah
Because
jadi presiden.
boleh, no problem.
Afiq here says profitable problem solving. Nice. And that is
Yeah.
definitely there's a Malaysian guy who sold an innovative bicycle, forgot the name,
Mhm.
on a crowdfunding platform, raised millions. Oh, mana tu? I've never seen that one. I gotta see.
Half-board egg maker. Yes, that is a effective innovation. Yes.
Mana? Which one?
Sufis, you already highlighted right now.
No, which one? Half-boiled egg maker. Is that ours?
Yeah, yeah. There was an
Mana yang
article
tuang
that
tu?
yeah.
Yang,
The one that
oh,
in
that's,
the like the plastic. There was an article
oh,
about this. So it mentioned the hard-boiled egg guy. It mentioned about the USB and the surgical mask also. Yeah,
oh,
Aerodyne.
okay.
Yes, Aerodyne.
Aerodyne kita ke?
Uh,
Aerodyne bukan Terminator tu Aerodyne ke? What was that?
Bukan, itu lain. Itu lain Dyne. I
Cyberdyne.
forgot. Cyberdyne. Ni
Cyberdyne.
Aerodyne.
I,
Yeah.
I think that the half-boiled egg maker was actually right. Is a guy who wanted to make half-boiled egg. Dia tuang air panas tapi bocor kan.
Uh,
It become
maybe,
half-boiled.
maybe. But according to the story, it started with
Hmm.
him having a problem and he wanted to solve it. And kebetulan ramai orang have that problem and then
Oh, okay. Secret recipe is Malaysian.
yeah, secret recipe. Yeah, secret recipe machine.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Mm.
And then we got pencilless. Pencilless. Isn't that pencil without no pencil? It's the one, the iron pencil, right?
Mm.
Betul ke? The iron pencil. So
Sure
now I'm
about that.
curious. Ni shock ni tengok ni. Pencilless. No need to sharpen pencil. So this one is Malaysian lah. Malaysia boleh. Malaysia we are innovative lah. So many things. Money also we can be innovative, right? Masuk RM100 keluar RM1 juta. That one can happen. Very smart as well. Our Tai Chi skills. Okay. All right. So any more, right? So I'm curious. I think kejap lagi satu lagi original iPod control wheel by Creative, which was started by a Malaysian.
Oh,
The iPod.
seriously?
Seriously,
Okay, I
it's by a
didn't
Malaysian.
know that.
Oh, okay. So that'd
Okay.
be very interesting. I really want to. Wow, now I'm curious lah. Banyak benda lah. I think there's a lot of things Malaysians have designed. One of the things that I thought of people who are innovative are also lazy.
Ah, yes. They always want to find like a much less hassle way, you know?
Paling sempat, paling easy, right? What's this? Nehemiah Wall.
Oh, the one that use when you know when there's a ramp or road that goes up, right? And then the side you
Yep.
need some things to, and it's a hexagon shaped thing.
Okay.
So it's that thing lah, the wall lah, the hexagonal modular cement blocks that you stack on top of each other to make the side of the ramp that goes up.
Oh, tu benda ada kita buat.
A doctor that
Wow.
does it.
Hey, this is brilliant, man.
So
Wah, bagus ah.
yeah,
Bagus ah.
I think
I
we
mean,
have a lot of innovators.
I want to ask lah, since we are closing in towards the end of the show, right? So for many of us, we want to know about innovation and so on, and then I think innovation is very big these days. I had a pitch
Mhm.
to many companies for training and so on. There's always a Rizal, can you put this leadership element here, and also something about innovation and creativity and so on. So for you, what have you been doing in terms of innovation? Have you been, selling your courses, or have you been speaking a lot about innovation? What's been happening on your front?
On my side, I have been getting a lot of requests to train people about innovative thinking, and creative thinking. So again, it is two different things, right? So innovation is about the execution of ideas, but
Mm.
creativity is just about generating ideas. So yeah, that's the main thing that I'm doing right now, and I hope maybe by this year I would be able to finish my book about creativity. So
Ooh.
everybody can learn how to be more creative and innovative.
Okay, so agak-agak when is this book gonna be ready?
Maybe fourth quarter. We'll see how.
Fourth quarter,
Uh,
eh? Okay, and then so this book is gonna be about creativity, and you also speak about innovation and creative thinking and design thinking. No,
Maybe not in the book. Maybe not in the book.
in the book. Okay,
So, are you talking about training in general or what?
trading in
Training.
general, yeah. So people
So
want to reach out
basically,
to
I
you.
focus on three things, which is the innovation, creative thinking, the strategic thinking, and entrepreneurial thinking, which is somehow related to innovation. So you
Mm.
could argue that if you want to be think strategic, you also need to be creative, right? You cannot use the same strategy if not your competitor will know what you want to do, right? So things like that. So
Nice, nice. Okay, Faizal Suhami is on fire lah. Dia dah cerita pasal telur lah ni. At levels for 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. And then keluar Mary Brown. Mary Brown kita juga ke?
yes, Mary Brown is ours.
Okay, alright, that's cool. Cool. Oh, now we got Afiq actually asking question here. What's your best advice to inspire young generations to innovate, sir?
Okay, here's my advice. Don't think about your interest or your minat. That's what people always follow, what your interest or what your hobbies and things like that. Because hobbies, once it become your work, it becomes a work. Okay. Instead, look what is your perjuangan, your purpose, your something you're willing to fight for. Okay, like for me, I feel I want to fight for innovation in Malaysia. I want Malaysians to be more creative, be more innovative, because if not, as a country, we will not be successful or maybe even survive if we don't innovate. So that's my perjuangan. That's something I really close with. So take a lot of time to learn about yourself, learn about the world, to see what are the problems we are facing, and find just one thing that really makes you wanna do something about it. Because if you do something not because of that, maybe for example you want to be rich and all that, when the money is not coming in, then you will not have motivation anymore. But if you believe in something And even though that you have a lot of trouble, no money, got people angry at you, whatever, customer angry at you will still do it because you are fueled by your desire to solve that problem in the first place. Remember what I said? Innovation is about solving problems.
Nice, well said. Oh, I love that, man. I mean, the part that triggered me the most is really more on like you focus on something that there is no monetary value for you, but more that you're passionate to wanting to solve that particular problem, something that you are willing to help and
Mhm.
put some effort in. And then if you don't get the money, it doesn't matter because it is something that you are passionate about nonetheless. Wow, very powerful. All right. So we do have a few more comments here. Faizal said they suit Apple. Ya, tak habis lagi ni. Cerita pasal siapa ni? Mary Brown suit Apple ke?
No, the iPod thing, the iPod
Oh, okay. Oh,
circle was by Creative. You remember Creative, the company? The
uh-huh.
company, yeah, I think they're bankrupt or whatever. I used to buy their MP3 player, Creative, the company from
Oh my
Singapore. Was
God.
it Malaysia?
Oh, that one,
Oh,
huh? Ah, okay. All
okay,
right.
it was a very old. So
All right,
everybody
cool,
knows our
man.
age already.
We have already passed our 1 hour mark. I wanna say thank you to you, Firdaus. But before we end the session, I want you to just say a few words, before we leave. And of course, again, I know that Firdaus would like this. Please, kalau siapa-siapa tahu Firdaus masih single, tolong refer orang.
Okay, no
Masih single.
problem.
This is Rizal's innovative way to help. I'm
Okay.
passionate about helping Firdaus. Okay, okay. But jokes aside, jokes aside.
Uh-huh.
Please do connect with Firdaus. And then Firdaus, any last words before we end the show for today?
Uh, okay, let me think. Okay, I think what I want to share is that, I believe that everyone can innovate. I believe that in the future, innovation will be the number one way of how we live. It's not about knowledge anymore. It's not about it's basically about the I economy. If you want to be successful, you need to have ideas, you need to innovate and solve problem as fast as possible. So how do you want to do that? Focus on a specialty that you have, specialty that you have an advantage in. So I have an advantage in knowing about how to innovate. So I teach that. That's my niche. So find what you are good at. Find you something you are really believe in, that you really want to make a change. And I believe that opens your heart and mind to innovate more, innovate better. I think that's all. Thank you.
Wow, nice little message, man. Okay, thank you so much, Firdaus. I really appreciate it for you to come and join my session, and I hope that you are able to come back because I want to bring you in for the entrepreneurial part. I think
Sure,
that's
awesome.
going to be interesting, and then let's probably bring in Dr. Nurul. Who knows, Dr. Nurul to
Yeah,
come and join in
we
with
should.
yourself, and then we
We
get
should.
one more person to just come in and talk about entrepreneurism because these days people are now doing business on their own to supplement their income. They want more income, they want to do a business on the side. So that's great. And again, thank you so much to all those that have joined in. Really appreciate it. So do remember, thanks Farid Tan
Thanks, Farid.
for joining in as well. So as I mentioned, in March is going to be Ladies Month because we are going to be doing it for the ladies International Women's Day. So all my guesses would be ladies, amazing ladies, and we're talking about a lot of things. So that is all for me today. Thank you so much for joining us at LOL with Rizal. Signing out, me and Firdaus. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. See you guys. See you guys.
Wow, bestnya. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And of course, I want to say thank you to our guest today, Firdaus, for joining in. Really, really cool. I'll see you guys in March because we have a whole bunch of people coming in. It'll be very exciting.
ลิ้นกับฟันพบกันทีไรก็เรื่องใหญ่น้ำกับไฟ